Hello YouTube, it is me, Topher Crost, here to do a video about a trading card game, Final Fantasy TCG. Basically, these videos are going to be little small videos to kind of help you get to know cards better, hopefully really short, so if you're in the middle of playing a game, you can kind of just get back to the game. Alright, now on to the official intro. Hello, it is me, Topher Crost, here to do a short tutorial video on a Final Fantasy TCG card where I go over the card in details, prices, rulings, and more. The card we will be looking at today is Shantotto. Shantotto is a 7-cost Earth backup Job Mage legend from Opus 1. Its category is Dissidia Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy XI. Shantotto's ability reads, if Shantotto is on the field, it gains elements of fire, ice, wind, earth, lightning, and water. When Shantotto enters the field, remove all forwards from the game. The price for Shantotto is going to run you around $60, but if you want that card foil, it's going to run you around $120. Shantotto also got a full art reprint in Opus 12, which will run you between $90 and $100. It looks more towards $100. With all that being said, please understand that card prices do fluctuate, so the card price today may be a little bit different a week from now. When it comes to rulings that you should know about Shantotto, it all revolves around her ability. What I mean by that is she's not just an Earth card, she's every single other element with the exception of Dark and Light. That means cards that target other elements can target Shantotto while she's on the field. Remember, if she's in your hand, she is still only an Earth element card. Last but not least, what that also means is while she's on the field, she can dull for any element with the exception of Light and Dark. Also remember, when she enters the field, she removes all forwards from the game. That's all forwards on the board. That includes your forwards and your opponent's forwards. So this is a segment, tips, etc., where essentially I'm going to talk about different tips I may have if I've played the card, or maybe some other things. For instance, when it comes to Shantotto, I actually went to Reddit to ask some questions. Now, I don't know if you guys know a lot about the Final Fantasy TCG group on Reddit, but if you do not know about them, I highly recommend checking them out. They have helped me a lot with rulings and things of that nature. They're very, very, very nice people. It is a great community. I've been kind of posting on there for a bunch of months, tons of questions. They haven't gotten sick of me yet, so I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you, but I cannot recommend them highly enough. I had a bunch of different questions on Shantotto, so I actually went to this group. And basically what ended up happening is I got some really good results, but the biggest question that I had was, is there any real good alternatives to Shantotto? Because let's be honest, that card is not cheap, and I wanted to see if we had budget player options for a workaround for this particular card. Now the first thing I want to go over, because it's a little bit easier, is Shantotto's color fixing. So Shantotto obviously can dull for more than just Earth. There's a lot of backups, however, that can do it for a cheaper cost. If that's what you're looking for, here are some suggestions. The first thing I'm going to suggest is the set of Moogle cards. I will post them on the screen so that way you can see them, because I cannot remember all their names, but essentially they come in the field and they can dull for an extra element. That's a pretty easy way to color fix if you're running dual elements. Now, it doesn't cover every single color combination quite yet, but there are a lot of color combinations you can do with these Moogles. Now these next ones are going to be specifically for Earth decks. The first one is an idea of my own. You could run Leo from Opus 6. He's an Opus 6 legend, and basically while he's on the field, backups can dull for literally any element. It's a very, very good card. Next up, we have a suggestion from Reddit user, Throw Away the Trash, which I ended up putting in my Final Fantasy VII deck, actually. I still run Shantotto, but I also run this card. It's Tyro. He's very, very good. Better for color fixing because he is less cost than Shantotto, and he has the added bonus of being an EX burst and searching for a forward, and it can be any forward, so that's very, very helpful, and it might be better for your deck in certain situations than Shantotto is. In fact, the main reason that people use Shantotto, and the other reason I was looking for alternatives, was because Shantotto is a board wiper. It is the only board wiper that I know of that just removes every forward from the game that's on the field at the time. In fact, I'm certain of it. That being said, a few Redditors came to my aid and kind of helped me figure out a couple alternatives for Shantotto. The first one, once again, is Reddit user Throw Away the the trash. Now, he first recommends Philia. Philia is an 8-cost 10k forward that deals 10,000 damage to every single forward when it enters the field, except itself because of its other ability. It does deal you a point of damage, however, but in certain decks that actually works to your advantage, maybe triggering that extra EX burst on entry if you play a very high-cost EX burst deck. And also, he recommended if you play Dragoons to play Freya. Now, I don't know anybody that isn't playing Freya in a Dragoon deck, but that is a great board wipe, probably one of the best in the game. Next up are some suggestions from Rando User 05. Basically what they said is, in short, you could use the Opus 4 Shantotto forward, Gladios, I cannot pronounce that name, Byagan and Redia. I am sorry, I am awful with these names, but I will post them on the screen so you can see them all. But basically, you can use those as less effective board wipes, which means you're going to have to think of alternative solutions to kind of combine with these cards, but I do appreciate him putting those suggestions in here. Something else that Rando User 05 actually responded with is the cards that can counter the backup Shantotto, you know, the big card of the day, the one we've been talking about. Those counters being Amaterasu, Y'shtola, and Seven, all very, very good counters, can stop auto abilities. That's why they can stop Shantotto. So there are ways to counter this if you're playing against it. That's pretty much all I have for tips and etc. today, but thank you to those Reddit users for helping me out. I will be putting links in the description for both the group and the thread that I posted on, so you guys can read their full comments, click the links. They were ridiculously helpful, and again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If there's anything I missed or you have any questions, please comment down below. Also, comment the card you think I should do next. Have a nice day. Topher Crost, out.